thing.
Yeah.
The engine's running. We're in the sky. People have parachutes on and questionable clothing. We're jumping, Degon. It's time to go. Game number 2. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, here we go. All right, game 2 underway. Another funky, clean path here. This time on Miramar. No one will be able to head on over to Tierra Blanca, Campo Militar, all of that stuff in the northeast. No one's going to have any part of that. So we'll see how these teams adjust. And so maybe, again, more hot drops. I'm sure almost every team knows every secondary and tertiary location that they would drop to on Erangel. I'm not sure if they know every secondary and tertiary drop spot for all the teams here on Miramar. So we might have a couple of early fights yet again, as we saw Execute and JCR have.
Those early fights, oh boy, do they help make this early game that much more exciting. I'm ready to see it, because here's the thing. Game number 1 had some early action, but it was like very sloppy and uncalculated. It was like 2 guys happened to run into each other, and then both teams tried to full send in vehicles to give backup, and then the fight just sort of happened. If we can have some of that earlier, if that's actually a little bit more calculated, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see, because teams, again, are often really afraid to take these early fights. But now with kills being worth so much, you saw it. I think 13 points or 11 points additionally from kills in game number 1 were venerated. That's the kind of stuff that adds up, and you can try and clutch it all out late game. But man, if you can get a couple of these kills early, make some dents, get some knocks, make a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big start, but actually yesterday, just story times, and it's probably going to be slow. Omen Elite got the first chicken dinner and didn't get anything after that. So Venerated need to make sure they don't fall into that same fate. Also, Red Reserve, I need my words. Red Reserve getting the first skill hill. Rafino, they're trying to continue on their same path here. Starlock had that big nade, and Rage cleaned everybody up with the secondary nade. So Red Reserve trying to move their way on up the standings here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Again, more of these teams who are familiar to those who follow competitive PUBG Mobile, but you've just watched the Mobile Open over the last year and a half. That's really, your only exposure to this. Maybe some new unfamiliar faces to you here. I also have to point out, I do need to mention the circle. Egon, it's there. It's way over there.
That is crazy. So the plane is just straight trolling. The map is trolling. The circle gods have looked down upon the players of Group 2 saying, you got to earn it today. No one's going to get the circle except Best Kept Secret, because the circle gods and them are tight. So they actually told them early on, as long as Best Kept Secret didn't tell anybody. And now everyone's going to be Mad Maxing across the map and trying to find the places to go to. And if you are a someone that bought a ticket on that plane, I'm asking for a refund. You didn't send us anywhere near where you promised us to drop to. So that's going to be an annoying start here for everybody, as no one inside the circle, and it's going to be 13 teams riding across the map.
Smited by the circle gods, Degon.
Yes, no, seriously. Dude, I have that ability now, and it's so exciting to do, okay? It's so much fun. But seriously, guys, I know airlines are having a rough time right now, but this is inexcusable, guys. Come on. The circle ain't... All right. I mean, the question now becomes, luckily, because we do have 14 teams in this lobby, we are going to know. So there are 2 less teams than normal, and it's Miramar. So in any other situation, if we were on, Sandhawk, I'd be A, less concerned because it's smaller, and B, because I don't know, it's smaller maps, so things are going to go a little differently. Teams are probably not even going to see each other as they rotate here. I'm less concerned about this because it is Miramar.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised.
I will be. I'm
surprised.
Sure. Now that I've said it.
Yeah.
Now that I've said it, I'm going to look
just
silly.
Jinxed it.
Probably.
You did the classic Palito
Blaster,
Miramar jinx.
Blaster curse.
Right.
If I say I don't want to see any action, that means we'll get some action.
Well, one can hope. One can hope. We kick things off here. Elise spotting out J7. PK had that difficult early game. Find themselves right at the bottom of the leaderboards. And coming into today's matches, PK has actually been on an upswing from their PMPL scrims. I think PK had things figured out. They still use their 5-man roster. They rotate players in, and it felt like they were in a groove. I think it were third, fourth out of the multiple days that we had this past week in PMPLs in the PMPL scrims, and looked like they had it together. But unfortunately, when you send it into Cloud9 and then hurt yourself in the process and then go backwards, bad things happen. Oh boy. There he is.
Boy.
He's going to take some shots at G3. G3 trying to get himself over the ridge. You can see it's smoking. He's got to get out. G3, no, not like this. Oh,
Not like this. Oh, spam you're not like this in the chat, as now Jagger and the rest of the crew have got to go assist. And look. All I know is one went by. Elise didn't hit the shots, didn't take the shots. Okay, we're good. The second one goes by. Okay, now we hit the shots. But now, is Elise biting off more than they can chew? That's my big question.
No, I think this is fine, you know. Yeah. You feel comfortable at this spot. You got yourself a solid scope here on your M4. You know they're sending a crew to at least get the revive up for G3. But now with the revive up and going, Jagger covering the edge that J7 had to give up, I think they should be fine to roll on out safely here. I like the play early on. I like the play early on by Elise, and it was the same type of aggressive early game that Execute played that led to them finding multiple kills to start off Erangel. So I don't mind it at all by Elise.
Yeah, and in the end, just going to be a knock. No follow-up there. That's kind of to be expected at this point. The rest of the crew is still pretty far off here, though, for Execute. They're just playing this smart, and I like this, making their presence felt. Because, again, PK had kind of a bit of a rough game last time around. They ended up kind of recovering not too bad, but if you can continue to sort of attack the mental game here, even of a team as veteran, as professional as PK, it will eventually make a difference.
Yeah. So hopefully PK are able to reset the mental. I think PK is a team where they just need to make sure they don't play themselves, you know? Like, they got to make sure their mental's good. So, but as you said, Jagger, long-standing member on that squad. All these guys have been together for a while, so they should be fine to reset. Just a slight mishap. I like the fact that the player that got knocked got out of the vehicle first, right? Get shot while you're in the vehicle. Damn it.
There we go.
Oh, JCR, not GCR, getting himself in trouble early on. And Twinkles, again, the angle. This is the null that you've been waiting for, right, Paul?
This is the one. This is it. Oh my goodness. Oh, and actually Twinkles has been kind of interesting because I distinctly recall Twinkles hitting some absolutely sick shots in game number 1, and now you look to be able to go and fix this one up as well. So props there. But now we jump on board with Dean, who is an absolute beast on a motorcycle, but that's for another time. Only loading into the lobby here with 3. So already a bit of a rough situation for JCR. Now compounded by the fact that Sammy's going to get picked up here early. Not ideal. So I feel like Dean's going to be on just live mode for a little while longer.
Yeah. And Dean did that last game. So Dean used to doing this situation here for JCR, but this is a tough spot for JCR. Again, they qualified for Mobile Open or for the finals last time. They were in our top 20 teams, and you know, hopefully they'll be able to do it again, but looking like it's going to be a rough first 2 games. So you got to make sure you're picking up the points where it's possible. So Magic and Dean, they're going to split up and just try to survive, possibly poach a couple kills if possible, but otherwise they need to play sneaky and silent and try to work their way on in.
Yes, which sound like gamer tags or handles in their own right? They're sneaky and silent. I feel like silent is a player. Solomon day number 1. Anyway, that's how they need to be this time around. They need to channel that here in this one. As we're jumping back on board with Hype now, who do have some vision down there. And maybe looking to make something happen, or at least just early scouting at this point. Again, this is okay. Okay, Leon, never mind. No early scouting. Take your shot. Shoot your shot here, team. I dig it.
Yeah. Again, Card 98. Everyone feels comfortable using this, even though it's I just give me a DP. I'd rather just shoot with minimal recoil while prone. Give me that. But I feel like it's flex play. Plus, you pop someone in the head, they go down immediately. Not a bad feel here. And these are the types of plays that ASN, Leon, Rad, we've come to see from them. And this is why I think Hype is just ready for that next step. Fortunately, not their greatest game number one, so they're going to need to turn it on here, especially now that they have the drop on Rebellion.
And this is just going to be a slow play here. At some point, we're going to get a look at where this circle is updated on over. We'll get a sense of where these teams are rotating. And that will sort of indicate where these rotations need to come in, which teams are going to be under pressure, who is able to rotate in early, take over a compound, maybe be in that line of sight as they're going to move on in here. So just keep an eye on that. Really slow pace here to start this off, and this is kind of what I expected, again, especially with 14 teams in the lobby. Things are just going to be a little bit slower here early on, but again, if things go anything like game number one, Degon, we are going to have a very, very, very exciting late game. And here we go. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, exciting late game because it's been pretty stagnant early on. We got the Cast of Curse of PK getting caught out. We got to see JCR go down one member, and that's about it. Now the circle going to be quite friendly to everybody. But now a shift over to El Azahar. Going to be pretty crazy on the western side. Go west, young man, is not the call that you want to hear from anybody because everyone's heading east and trying to center up. That might lead to a lot of fighting here, including the marksman trying to bounce back from not being able to find a home on Erangel as Kilo taking some shots down range onto Red Reserve. But Rage, Skies will be able to work themselves into the complex and buy a little bit more time. They're not alone. Venerated also rotating into that area as well. And now on the minimap, you can see Accelerate. They'll be rotating on in late. Knoll, Rebellion, and that fight with Hype still hovering around, looming on the southern side of the circle. Cloud9 and PK, the vets, they send it early. They're centering up. Should be okay.
Yep. Yeah, they should be, well, looking to try and take some fights here.
Actually, one more thing. You see JCR.
They're on the island.
They're on the island. They made a gamble. I like the gamble play here by JCR. They don't have a lot of options. They realize, all right, island not in. We'll have to just boat our way on in to the outskirts on the eastern side.
Yeah, and we're jumping back on board with Cloud9 now. Uneven is taking some shots. Need to get himself, and of course, who would it be? Who else? It's so interesting to me. These two teams who probably have the most competitive experience, at a high level of anybody, we didn't see that, Bayo, of anybody else in the lobby in terms of overall teams, they both go to the same spots. It's not a coincidence that they keep running into each other here, Degon. They know the places they want to take. They know the angles they want to have. They know where they want to post up, but that just means they're constantly fighting for it as all these teams are rotating on in now. Best kept secret. It's not secret for long. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Got to focus on the second half of that sentence here as Pittsburgh Nice is also taking shots. They have put themselves in a less ideal situation. And now Beowulf looking to make up some for some of those shots earlier. Looking towards that other squad as well. They want to make sure they're not getting flanked, though, and that's pretty big here from them.
Yeah, very lucky there for Coops, who's just standing still, saying, Beowulf, please shoot in my face. It's what I want right now. But Bayo not quite able to finish it on off, but there we go. I thought I saw J7 get knocked earlier. J7 does, so J7 and Jagger out for Pittsburgh Knights. Raven and G3 on salvage mission mode, and it's just tough here for PK just because they're trying to get the optimal spots, but there's already a team getting the optimal spots right now in Cloud9, and PK might be finding themselves on the bottom of the leaderboards here after 2 games in the day. So, due to the hands of Cloud9 both times. Pretty stressful stuff here for the Knights.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the problem is, like I mentioned before, you're constantly running into the one team that's beating you. So not only is it going to get into the idea that they are just beating you, but also it's going to make you rethink your strategy. It's like, wait,
right.
Well, it's going to make you second guess. Well, we think we should rotate here, and we think we should, rotate now. We're going to take over this compound. We're going to, camp this hill. But wait, they're there every time. So not only do you have to adjust your shot calling on the fly, you still have to be able to take a deep breath, reset, and say, that's fine. We still know we have the gun skills. We still know that we have the intel. We still know that we have the strats. We just have to execute slow and steady and just try not to run into Cloud9.
Easy strategy. Don't run into Cloud9. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Might as well rhyme.
Where's Null? Null is on the southern part of the zone. They're one of the teams. They're the last team to rotate on in, actually. And it does look like they might run into Accelerate. Accelerate, still deciding if they want to push forward north into Hype or if they want to retreat back on into the same complex that Null is in right now. And it looks like Accelerate might be running back on into Null. So Null should be ready to go, as this circle seems relatively safe, as I thought. This is Circle 2. A lot of teams don't really fight too much in this spot. We see a lot of the action go down Circle 5, Zone 5, and that's where things get a little dicey. But there's a lot of spots unclaimed right now on the outskirts of these. So if we get any sort of a hard shift outside of El Azahar, then we'll start seeing a little bit more of this vehicular rotations plus shots at vehicles to expect explosions.
Look, man, you had me at explosions. Which was the last part of the sentence. You had me right at the end. That sounds great. Right at the end. We talk about safe circles and stuff, and I'm like, I just want some action at this point. It has been a very quiet game. It seems like all the jitters are out from game number 1. As teams are just looking to take smarter fights here. Obviously, picks are going to happen. Rotations, sloppy or not. Even the smartest rotation, best laid plans are going to get messed up sometimes. Yeah, I think a circle shift sort of northeast of Al Azahar could really make some of these teams rethink their life choices. And also at some point, I want to recheck in with JCR to see another team on damage control mode. There they are, hanging out in that exact situation. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on where this circle does shift. Everyone, again, nobody's really pressured right now. C9 are in a pretty good spot, and it's just going to be dead center here. So this isn't really going to hurt anyone. It's just going to tighten things up a bit. So again, I don't expect the action to heat up here for a decent amount of time.
I will say, though, that execute on the outskirts of El Azahar on the northern side of it, that does seem a little difficult because you do have Fearless, you do have Red Reserve, and execute making a smart play. You can slowly see the rotation. They're going to follow the road and head around the city. They might run into, actually, they will run into Venerated, so I expect that to be our first fight. And then JCR up against Rebellion. Both these teams have lost team members. They could possibly take a 2v2 fight on the eastern side. But other than that, I think you're right. More of slow play here, and keep an eye on where Null decides to rotate on in.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. You talked about the rotation into Accelerate, and they're actually potentially facing up against Red Reserve, as you can start to hear shots coming in as teams are looking to vie here. That JCR fight as well. That's going to be cute. Maybe we can catch that a little bit here. As Cloud9, right dead center of the circle, all the options. As I said, I call this the porcupine. They all just back to back, guns out. But it's Accelerate. This is what we were talking about. Facing up into Hype.
Yeah, okay. They need to be decisive here. Just because Null is on the rotation, they do need to get in at some point. And if Null heads just straight north right now, they'll run into both these teams and get to clean up whatever's left over from this fight.
That could be huge. Prism's actually getting a kill there, or a down, I should say, on the Venerated, the team who was able to clutch it out in game number 1. He talked about vehicle explosions, D-Gon, and you're not disappointing so far here in game number 2, but still all 14 teams up left in the lobby. AO is playing scouting duty at this point. Just taking shots. Maybe he can see something we can't.
Well, right now, it does look like Cloud9 just waiting for this crate to drop. It's basically dropping right on top of them, and they'll be the beneficiary of that, as Prism and Venerated are going back and forth on the kill feed. And I think Venerated gave up the spot they were in on the outskirts of El Azahar, thanks to Execute are the ones that profit off of that. And Venerated now knocked down to just one member.
My goodness. A team that looked so solid in game number 1 and now back against the wall. Big guns in the hands of Cloud9. That will not go unused as Prism will pick themselves up 2 kills. So I think maybe still 2 members left there on the side of Venerated. Maybe we'll be able to check in with them in a bit and just confirm that. But great job to Prism. The team has been fairly quiet so far. We saw them do a little bit of work towards that final circle in game number 1. But I'm excited to see what they can do here on Miramar as Accelerate got themselves a great little dip here by the road. All the rotations that are going to come in, they're going to be privy to, and they know where Hype is. Sin is the one up front, but through one flanker coming in here from Hype, that could make things interesting.
Yeah, and again, I said Accelerate need to hurry up. Right behind them, Noel starting to move on in. And in that process, we were following along with Prism. The final member, Venerated, knocked out. So Venerated, our team winning the first game, goes out first in game number 2. So he ran right into Wild Widtaco of Rebellion. And so now following along with Accelerate, it's Noel. You hear those gunshots. You see the arrows pointing to the west. Noel starting to come from the southwest area. If Hype figures this out, they're going to be the team coming in for the third party.
And these third parties at this high level, they make things, I mean, they're always fun in a regular PUG as well, but they are particularly fun in these games because teams know when to capitalize on them. And if you know the team you've been camping out for a while is suddenly getting third party, that's a great chance to try and clean up both of those squads. Just pile on the kills because, of course, those kills are worth so much now in the scheme of things. We're jumping on board with Accelerate. Jag, take dodge and weave, dodge and weave.
Oh
Ooh,
my gosh. Yeah, hard shift for the circle. So Hype deciding not to take this fight with Accelerate, and Noel gonna rotate on in first, and all these teams are gonna have to get on in. Finally some action as Uneven start taking shots at Best Kept Secret. Best Kept Secret trying to get the real estate right in front of them. Vehicle goes up. 2 members get chunked here, and Cloud9 looking like they're gonna pick up 3 easy points. Only 1 left alive. It's dark for Best Kept Secret, and they're no longer a secret on this side of the map. Cloud9 know exactly where the final member's at.
Yep, they see the nades going out there. Uneven's going to continue to hold this angle, but they want to make sure they're not the ones third party. Through the smoke, he just knows. He just knows, D-Gon, where these potential rotates can come on through. But Prism, who's already struck blood in this lobby, has been scouted out by C9 as well. So Uneven's going to have his head on a swivel, pulling the fancy quick 180s here. As Draco is going to go down. And that is going to be more kills going into the pockets of Cloud9. Make it 5 so far in this lobby. As Accelerate's going to continue to, looks like it was Accelerate there in the kill feed as well. Pick up some kills of their own. So this is where things are going to start to heat up now, D-Gon. 39 members in the lobby, 13 teams, and a circle that is going to cause a lot of really risky rotations.
Yeah, teams are just going to have to send it early. It was Execute in the kill feed. They picked up Widtaco. So now for Rebellion, only 1 left alive. It's Tachua. Looks like Joshua with the T. Or maybe he's being funny because lowercase t's are like inverted J's. Tasha still left alive here for Rebellion. Cloud9 still lots of action on their front. They haven't actually moved too much. They decided, hey, look, although it did shift hard to Junkyard, we're going to fight Prism here. And now Nade's coming on through. Look at that bounce. Great observer feed there. Doesn't quite get the kill. And now Accelerate. They're going to try their chance at chucking nades over at Noel. This fight has been dragging on for 2 circles now, and no one has died yet on either side. But Maniac is very much further up than the rest of their team. As Accelerate are focused on the one member, the vehicle running around behind them, and that's Rebellion's Tashua. So Accelerate picking up a couple fights now, following along with the Marksman. Marksman trying to find a spot they can call home. They're looking down at Fearless, and Fearless trying to find a ridge. There's just not a lot of hard cover here. Not a lot of hard cover. It's just edges and ridges and hills, and hopefully you got your smoke nades ready to go.
Yeah, well, it didn't quite work out there for Prism. They were able to actually get it down onto Uneven, but C9 was able to get that rally. Now that the first knock is coming on through, Pyra is deciding he wants to continue to put on the pressure. They have just left Dark to his own devices. Best kept secrets, with Pyra not getting out unscathed as Accelerate and Execute are also trading back and forth through all of this. The nades are continuing to raid on through. The action, Degon. We knew it was going to heat up. We knew, finally, that there was going to be some gunplay here as we get into these later circles. You called it circle number 5. Here we go. Jag trying to get the pickup here on his team. You got the nice aerial view. We see Echo and the crew just posting up, both teams trying to get up their wounded members.
Yeah, it was 1-to-1 in terms of knocked members, and now Echo gets spotted out by Maniac. Great shots there, and Accelerate looking to pick up at least 1 point, but the drive up in the truck a little bit too late by Fate. Fate trying to get the Uzi. The drop shot not going to be enough. Yes, it is, and Fate's still alive for a little bit longer. Then from distance, Maniac raining down shots, but what a play there by Fate with the Uzi on the vehicle. Gets the drop shot, gets the cleanup, and then Maniac gets killed from distance by Fame, and that's Accelerate getting knocked out by Execute. The second time we've seen Execute just play aggressive and earn some points here. Good play here by Execute, but they've got a long way to go to get themselves in the circle.
Oh my God, I thought that was it. Face just ran out. He had 2 guys staring at him. Did the teammate, I don't know, did they get behind the tree? Did they block the shots? I don't know what happened there. All I know is that Fate should not have lived, should not have gotten those downs, and then those final shots to clean it up at range. There's a reason that this team is coming in as the number 2 seed in our bracket here in group number 2 today. It's because of plays like that, not being afraid to go aggressive and making it pay off for them there. 4 kills going their way. Nobody stepping on in to steal those. Nobody trying to take those points away from them. All about that. And now Raven, despite the fact that 2 team members are down, he sees Cloud9 up there in front of him, and he's not afraid to get in on the action. I like it. Pittsburgh Knights showing that they will never say die. So he's going to look to rotate on in, but this is not necessarily the friendliest of territory, Degon.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights and driving vehicles in very dangerous situations. Name a better duo. I'm a little nervous here for Raven, but it looks like Raven's going to be able to get himself inside a little bit longer. We fought along with Hype. They were gatekeeping Execute, but now they have to focus on Prism. And Cloud9 as Rad getting some shots from distance. It looks like Cloud9 is way outside the circle, no way on in, and it's heal strat time for Beowulf. So Cloud9 will not be winning this chicken dinner. It might go out all the way in 9th. Let's see how many placements they get using the heal strat. But it's chaos all over the place right now. This circle is in a place that no one wants to be in the center of. Everyone's just kind of hovering around the edge here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so many people sitting in the blue right now. And Beowulf, before he goes down, he's trying to take some teams with him. He's out. He just got bandies left to his name. He's out of med kit. So that is going to be Cloud9 out of this next. Not able to really get anything with this here. It's PK and Null are trading blows, but G3 is going to go down in response barely. And Raven's going to help to clean this one up because it's, of course, more than just one player here left for Pittsburgh Knights. Actually outlasting Cloud9 after all of that. Great job to Pittsburgh Knights, able to find the angle, stick with it, and play it slow. But as I look towards this circle, Null, who are just sort of just skirting on the outskirts. There we go. The whole time Degon have finally found their way into the circle, and they're actually looking like they're in a pretty good spot. They own the entire southwestern side of this.
Yeah, a lot of the time, teams that play slow, teams that rotate on in last, don't find the best spot to be in. And there was a couple times where Noel could have third-partied, I think it was the Accelerate and Execute party. Instead, they decided to wait, play slow, rotate on in, and now they have themselves nice little coverage inside the zone. But now with Prism and Hype, they're going to be right next to each other, as well as PK and the Marksman on the northern side of the circle. Raven still going. G3 still going here. 4 kills so far. They just want to find a place they can go home, and maybe a little bit more as G3 still popping off right now.
Oh my goodness. I said, is it going to get to their head? Is the mental going to crack for Pittsburgh Knights? The answer is very clearly no. Now Prism is in a terrible spot. Prism, the one who did so much damage to Cloud9, might go down themselves. G3 on the outskirts. He's got to get in around the blue. He sees Jay in front of him, but no! Jay is able to take this one out. The Marksman living up to the name, and now Hype still on in this is Asen. The last man standing here as they're able to get Rad up as well. They see Prison right in front of them. They've got to go on in. They're able to find it with the nades, with the shots, and that's the cleanup there. 9 kills for Hype, making me feel just that. Degon is now only 9 players are left, 3 teams remaining, and Hype has got all 4 members and ready to take the fight to Null and crew.
Yeah, Scuba, that last remaining member alive there for Prism. He went swimming in a pool of grenades. Not the greatest place to work on your backstroke there, but he'll spend some time on his back. after a decent game here for Prison. They got 4th place, 4 kills. They can take the points where they can get them. But now you got the marksman, Hype, and Noel. PK knocked out earlier. We got to see that one on the screen. And so we're going to have ourselves a new first-time winner for Season 5 in Match 2. See if Hype can continue the push here. But Noel, we've seen them before, and I like the way Twinkles plays. Keep your eyes on him to see if he can frag out here.
Survival as well. Able to hit headshots at range, and that's going to be the go button. Oh my goodness. Survival opens it up with the rest of the team there on the flank, gets it done, and now it is a 3v4 situation. As Null have decent positioning here. They do have the circle with them. And we've seen this before, Degon. I'm getting flashbacks. I think it was game number 2 last week here on Miramar as well. Very similar environment. You've got rocks, you've got these deflates, you've got these ridges and rises. And we'll see if anyone's going to get picked up here as the circle is starting to close in. Leon, here's the footsteps of Swift. Is going to need to be that. Stims are being popped across the board. Hang on.
I think Leon might just be your heal bot here. Like, he has a first aid kit. He has a med kit.
No,
Swift.
Right.
Oh, nope. Swift, what are you doing, buddy? Oh, he didn't notice and time his heals properly. He had a couple on him. Oh, that's a big mistake there by Swift. Great jobs by our observers to cover something that is so crucial in this team fight. So Noel now down to a 4v2 here.
That was actually a critical misstep because a 3v4 is winnable. A 3v4 is doable. A 2v4 is a whole other conversation as Leon baiting the shots in as the teammate there behind them fears. He's got to put that into his opponents right now. He's got to try and make his presence felt. As not a whole lot of utility left to work with here. And here comes the push from Hype. Here you can see it. All of them just going on in. Fear the shots going back and forth. But no, Hype with the push at the end, realizing, wait a second, this is a 4v2 situation. What are we waiting for? And with sheer weight of numbers, sheer weight of fire, full auto, spray, no pray. That was just a cleanup there at the end.
Yeah. And that was a pretty good transfer, a spray transfer there by Fears going from one to the next, and props to him. But again, you kind of go back at Swift, and what I would do to hear those comms, you'd be like, "What happened? What happened, dude?"
Because he tried to painkiller, and then he tried to make. Oh,
yeah, and I think that's why these matches are so great, because it gives you such a solid place to practice these things and work on these things and have a situation where you're in a 3v4 on Miramar in a place where there's no buildings, right? Every time. And that's why you keep coming back to it over and over and over again. So big win here for Hype, and a little worried after that first game finding themselves in the lower half of the scoreboard. Not so much here. 9, 10, 11, 13 kills plus a chicken dinner. That's a 33-point round here for Hype.
Pretty darn, not pretty darn, very darn solid there. 13 kills and the chicken dinner. Yeah, 33 points on the board. You'll love to see it. Let's take a look back, though, Degon, at our Xperia highlights from game number 2. That one, a bit of a slow burn, but when it did get going there at the end, some individual amazing performances really stand out there for some of these teams.
Yeah, started off with Execute, again, picking another early fight, and G3 getting out of the vehicle just in time. Remember, you insta-die if you don't get out, and the vehicle blows up. Sammy, he gets out of the vehicle, he gets blown up. Unlucky there for JCR on the start. And then Cloud9, it felt like they were picking fights and shooting a ton, but they didn't end up with a ton of kills, and Beowulf goes out in 9th place. As that was a tough run for them. And then G3 also rotating a little late, getting chunked out here. And then this was the moment, I think, when Hype realized, hey, look, we've got this. And these are the moments that we've been wanting to see out of Hype consistently. It was very much decisive on like, hey, look, we're pretty sure Null's on the other side. Let's take this fight to the marksman early on and then run at him. Oh, we got 3-4 members, run at him. He can't shoot all of us at one time. Fears did a good attempt, but fell a little bit short. And that was the chicken dinner that Hype deserved. They got it. They earned it. Big win there for them.